Hey guys, it's Helly and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about short stories, my favorite thing in the whole world. Now, there's a common tendency in Indian readers to avoid short stories, and the reason is that most of us who come from school, that is the school education that we receive is very bad in terms of the short stories we have in our syllabus. So the school syllabus is somewhat like they pick up the best authors of short stories and they choose their worst works ever. Like Premchand has written so many great books and so many great short stories, but they pick up these worst types of short stories from Premchand so that anyone who reads that, they feel like, okay, I don't think this man writes well, but that's not true, right? Similarly for other authors too, like there was this story by Jhumpa Lahiri in our syllabus called, I think it was called The Real Darwan, which is probably the worst story in her best collection, Interpreter of Maladies. I highly recommend that book as well, obviously. But the thing is, in today's video, we are going to talk about some more different books that I don't recommend a lot on my channel because I really need to make many more videos on short story books themselves because I've read a lot of them and one video is not enough to just tell you guys about all of it. So make sure that you are staying tuned to my channel, make sure you subscribe and you hit the notification bell on. I think I'll make one short story recommendation video every month because I think there are already 50 books that I want to recommend, but today I'm going to recommend you like 6 or 7 books from my favorites of all time. So without any further ado, let's get started with this video. Number 1 will be Jules Verne. This is a collection of short stories by Jules Verne. I got this book at just about 70 or 80 rupees. It's available on Amazon. I got it on Amazon. It's a collection of 4 short stories by Jules Verne. Jules Verne writes sci-fi short stories and he writes sci-fi novels as well. But I have not enjoyed his novels as much as I've enjoyed his short stories. But you must read Jules Verne in case you love science. I don't really love science per se, but I do love science fiction. And that's the reason I read Jules Verne. Make sure you read him because I think a lot of people will find him very pleasing for their intellectual birds. Who says that literature is only about writing about romance and all other things about emotions? Jules Verne proves every guy who thinks that science is not a thing for literature students wrong, absolutely wrong. And that's the reason I love Jules Verne. Next is a very new recommendation that I have and it is Peace Has Come by Parismita Singh. This is a collection of short stories that are set in Assam and it is set in a time when Assam was in turmoil due to political issues, due to colonization, due to oppression. There are so many things that are going on in this book. I found them very hard to grasp. Even now, I think Assam is not in a very good state and recently some problems have been surfacing there. But the thing is, when you read such short stories set in such times, you just realize how helpless they are and then you realize that how helpless we are as well because at the end of the day, what can we do? Like what? Nothing, honestly nothing. And the realization is terrible, but well, we have to accept that because that's human life. This is one book that I think that a lot of people must be reading to know what actually goes on in the lives of these people who are actually indirectly related to these conditions. And I really love Parismita Singh's writing style. Yeah, I know that sometimes her writing style just gets a bit draggy, but then I can bear up with it because it's good at the end of the day. And I really recommend you guys to read Parismita Singh's books in case you are interested in short stories. Next we have one of the best short story writers of all times, Guy de Maupassant. Now his books, that is the editions brought out by Prajapati Books, are very cheap. Prajapati Books has like 3 or 4 editions of his books. This one has 126 short stories. I think there are more with 226 and then 100 short stories. Grab the one you want to because I think Maupassant's short stories are so entertaining. Maupassant's writing style is so good that even if the story leads nowhere, I'll still read it. There have been times when I did not understand what the short story was about, but trust me, that's okay. Sometimes short stories are too deep for you to understand. So in that case, you can obviously do a Google search and read reviews and understand what actually happened. But I think if you're reading Guy de Maupassant, make sure that you tell me that you're reading him, because I love to talk about his short stories with anybody who has read them. Especially because I think there is so much that I have not understood, that if I talk to someone, I may understand him better. So make sure when you're reading authors like him, you have some friends to talk to. Now I have a book club on Facebook. Make sure you are joining in case you want to get in conversations with people like you who love reading, because all the time it's not possible to have only one person, and my group is for those who are looking for friends who read books desperately. The next book that I have for you guys is The River of Flesh by Ruchira Gupta. It's actually edited by Ruchira Gupta. This is a collection of short stories from various authors and some of my favorite authors of all time. I think you guys should definitely be reading it, because you see, when you are reading about prostitutes, the tendency is that almost every story is the same, but no, it's not the same with this book, especially because Ruchira Gupta has curated this collection by picking up an assorted collection of short stories from some of the best writers of all time. I can't really stop obsessing over that, because honestly, when I started reading this book, I was bewildered, I was amazed by the elegance of the writing style each and every story had. And especially the plot in all these books are not that strong, but even then I think that this book is a must read for everybody. Next we have Tales from Shakespeare, which is edited by Charles and Mary Lamb, and here's the deal, this is actually sort of a summary of all his plays, not all of them. I think this has 20 plays by Shakespeare. This is a very old book. Like, I got this book when I was in class 5, but this book was written in the 19th century by Charles and Mary Lamb. They are brother and sister, and I absolutely loved it because it gave me an understanding of Shakespeare's stories. And when I was in 7, I started reading these stories, and I went up to my friends and I'm like, hey, you know, I am reading Shakespeare, like the boasty and braggy kid I was. And my friends were like, oh my god, you're so intelligent. But the thing is, now I'm reading Shakespeare in depth, and now I realize that most of the things that I understood in my childhood were not really my understanding at all. They were just stupid assumptions that I had about Shakespeare's stories that are being revealed in their truth now. But the thing is, in case you want to read Shakespeare but you don't want to read the language of the play, because let's face it, it is boring and it is weird and it is just very, very weird. So in case you just want to avoid that but still read the stories, make sure you're picking this book up. It's very, very good, especially if you are a beginner. And since I am a Bengali girl, I cannot end a video without including some Bengali authors. Now, I highly recommend you guys to read stories from Tagore. I absolutely love his stories, but obviously his stories have lost the essence when they are in translation, because I have read both translation and the originals of Tagore's stories. And even though I take much more time to read Bengali because I did not grow up in Bengal initially, I still go for Tagore's stories in original as much as I can, because the translation has lost the original flavor, but still it's worth it, guys, still it's worth it. Maple Press Publications books are very cheap in price in case you want to grab Tagore's stories at low rates. But in case you want the books in better quality, go for Penguin books. And I think that in case you like short stories by Tagore, you can go and read stories by Sarat Chandra as well. But Sarat Chandra's language is comparatively more simple. Not very simple, but comparatively I find Sarat Chandra more simple. So in case you are not into very difficult kind of reading, make sure you pick this book up by Sarat Chandra. Also, this is a very easy translation. I think Tagore's translations are also not that easy as Sarat Chandra's are. But both of them are very, very good authors of all time of India. And I think in case you are not reading them, you are missing out on a lot. So that would be all for today's video, guys. There are a lot more authors that I want to talk to you about in my upcoming videos. So let me know in the comment section below who is the author who you want me to talk about in my next video, because I'll just speed up their appearance in my videos in case you want them faster. In case you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I post every week. In case you want to support me and my channel, make sure you're contributing through Amazon gift cards. Those of you who contribute, make sure you're sending your email ID in the message part, because else I can't thank you. I don't have any way to contact you in case you don't contact me yourself, because Amazon does not allow that. So make sure you're sending your contact, at least your email ID, so that I can thank you for your contribution, because you guys are the people who keep my channel running. But even if you can't help me monetarily, just keep supporting me by watching my videos, keep supporting me by shopping from the Amazon link in the description below whenever you do that. And till my next video, bye bye.
My special thanks to Meher Deepika, Hiren, Chandrakant Macha and Syed Kabir for their contribution towards my channel last week.